You have to hit that to get that. I love it when people pay attention and they help you. Alright, so back to it. We'll talk a little bit how I got this bike actually. Because I didn't pay cash for it. I traded my way up to it. You know, normally these bikes, you know, normally they're not that expensive. You know, normally you can get one for $5 or $6 grand. The Ducati Monsters. The reason why this one is worth a little bit more is it's a brand new bike. You know, it's a 2013 model, but it had 1,200 miles when I got it. So I started out. I love rebuilding motorcycles. You know, it's something I can sit in a comfortable chair on a comfortable stool. I can do it at my own pace. I really, really, really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things to do. I get to do it at my own pace. You know, if I'm hurting real bad one day, I don't got to do it. So I bought I think it was a 2000. I'm pretty sure it was the year 2000. I don't know. I'd have to. I'm gonna post some pictures up here if I can. So it was a YZ 450F dirt bike. Is what I started out on my journey, trading up journey. Now I have lost in some of these deals, I admit that, but it was a clear choice. So I got it, you know, due to my hip and my back, mainly my hip. My back's kind of okay, my hip definitely ain't okay. I couldn't ride it. You know, I rode it a couple times, not off-road or anything, just like on my little road, you know, around my house. Which is blacktop. So, you know, and my fiance got on there with me. You know, I got some what's called emergency pegs or emergency footrests, and what it does is it extends the driver's pegs to where her feet could, you know, or the passenger feet could fit on there as well at the same time. Really, really smart design. Worked amazing. But the bike, you know, it being a 450, it was a heavy bike. I mean, it was just a really, really heavy bike. So after I finished the build on it, I decided that I wanted a smaller bike. Thought maybe, you know, it would be a little bit more manageable for me weight-wise. You know, maybe I could control it a little bit better. It wouldn't hurt me as bad. So I traded the 450F for a 98 YZ 250. The bike wasn't in the best of condition. The YZ 250 wasn't in the best condition, but it was a bike that I very specifically remember from my childhood, watching on TV and stuff, and it was one of my favorite motorcycles. You know, it and the KX, that was like the golden era of motocross. And so I got it, I rebuilt it. The only thing I didn't do to it was the motor. You know, I done the carb, the body, tires, chain, sprockets, handlebars, you know, the graphics, everything. Again, if I can figure it out, I'll post a picture up in the screen. Still getting used to the editing process. I've only got to do it once since none of my audios has worked. But so then when I got done rebuilding it, you know, I didn't ride it that much. I mean, this was a mean dirt bike. I mean, it was very mean. You know, two strokes, you got to keep the RPMs pretty high, and this thing would just come up every single time you got on it, even the slightest, you know, it would stand up. So I decided that I was gonna, you know, keep going with my trades and try to trade up. So I actually traded it for the 2006 CBR 600 RR. Now the CBR had higher mileage, but it was in really, really, really good shape. It's actually, I think, I have some pictures of it on my Instagram. You can find it at Newbie Moto. But you know, I'll probably have pictures of all these bikes on my Instagram at Newbie Moto. But it needed, so I got it home, got the CBR home. You know, it was in Kentucky. I live in Tennessee, not too far from Kentucky though. You know, it's about maybe an hour to the Kentucky line. But now this was pretty deep into Kentucky. I mean, way out in the sticks. And got the bike home. Didn't get to ride it for a few days because it was just absolutely nasty weather, raining. Finally, when I did get to ride it, I didn't know it was going to hurt me as bad as it did, because I hadn't rode a full-fledged fairing bike since my injury. So, well, technically since my surgeries. But I had a FZ6 also. You know, I bought an FZ6, so I had the FZ6 and the YZ250 at the same time. The FZ6, an amazing, amazing motorcycle. It was like perfect. Sounded just like the R6. It had a Scorpion exhaust on it. Just a beautiful sounding, beautiful looking motorcycle. But when I did get to ride the CBR, I got it out, and you could not touch the front brakes. The front brakes, one of the rotors was just warped bad. I mean, real bad. Like the whole, I mean, it would shake you. It was actually really scary when I first experienced it, because I mean, it was super just out of nowhere. Because I didn't test drive it when I went to pick it up. You know, it started raining. He started it up for me and everything. And I got it, you know, on a whim. I just wanted the bike, pretty much. And so, like I said, when I test drove it, the brakes was horrible. The chain was stretched out. It needed new sprockets. It obviously needed an oil change. I could tell it needed oil change. You know, it didn't run like it was supposed to be running. It just needed odding and stuff. It didn't need nothing major. And so I've done everything to it. Changed the sprocket, the chains, or the sprockets, the change. Done an oil change on it. Changed all the rotors and the brakes. Not the brakes. I didn't end up having to change the brake pads. But what it was with the rotor is the front left rotor, a bolt was broke. The rotor was broken, and they had JB welded this rotor back together, which blew my mind, because I mean, that's kind of an important part on a motorcycle. Well, on any vehicle, really, your brakes. So when I got it fixed, and I did ride it, you know, to make sure. Oh, and I put new rear sets on it too, and that was an adventure. So when I was doing the rear sets, the little knuckle thing that goes onto the splines for the transmission broke. Of course it did. It couldn't have just went good and nothing bad happened. So it broke, and I ended up having to order a new one. So finally got the rear sets on. Just hit 1,800 miles. Got the rear sets on, drove it around. I put it in GP shift, where it is 1 up, 5 down. I just kind of felt, when I went around corners and stuff, it just felt nicer to me, not having my toe pointing down at the ground. So I was originally going to trade my FZ6 and my CBR for a newer 600, you know, Super Sport. like a newer Ninja or a newer R6 or, you know, Gixxer or something like that. And I posted it, you know, and I got a couple offers, but it was for like Gixxers that was just clapped out. I mean, just, they was not nice motorcycles at all. They had been neglected badly. And I just, you know, I had like $10,000, a little bit over 10 grand invested in both the bikes. Definitely not taking a trade for a $4,000 motorcycle for $10,000 worth of motorcycle. That ain't gonna happen. And I ain't never been down that road. Let's go check that road out. I didn't even know this was a road. Is this a driveway? We're just adventuring right now. It looks like it goes around. But anyways, so back to the good old story time. Really wasn't getting offered, you know, anything that I wanted. You know, I had all kinds of people trying to buy each bike, you know, individually, and I just, that wasn't what I was wanting to do. I didn't want to individually sell the bikes. I wanted to trade both the bikes for one. And so I found this bike, this Ducati, and started messaging the guy, you know, asked him, because I think he had it priced for like $8,000 or something like that. And now it came with some extra stuff. It came with an extra seat, really nice Ducati seat, a Ducati rear tail bag thing, like a tank bag, but it goes on the tail of the bike. And extra key, I mean, a lot of stuff, you know. It came, the owner manual, it came with all kinds of stuff. And so originally I was actually going to trade him both my bikes for this bike, but the more that I thought about it, you know, I had quite a bit invested into the CBR, and the CBR was in a, you know, a very nice bike. You know, I mean, it did have 35,000 miles, but you know, I went through the bike, made sure everything was good on it. Everything was good. You know, it was a very well maintained motorcycle. The issues that I had was addressed before I posted it, and I told him, you know, I was like, man, I can't get rid of both of mine. I just can't do it, you know, not for that, you know. I mean, it is my dream bike, don't get me wrong, you know. I've wanted it since like 2009, but I just couldn't pull the trigger to trade both of my bikes for it. So he really wanted the CBR, which is what I grasped onto, you know, to help me out. And you know, I told him, I was like, well, you know, I don't really want the CBR, you know. That's the bike that, you know, I really don't have any attachment whatsoever to. And I told him, I was like, you know, I don't care to trade you the CBR. And, you know, he was like, well, you know, I would need some kind of boot, which, yeah, you know, it made sense. But I didn't want to put no more cash into the deal. You know, I didn't want to drop any more money. You know, I'd already dropped enough into what I had into the two bikes that I had. So I told him, you know, that I had some really pricey Pokemon cards that I could throw in. You know, I collect Wizard of the Coast Pokemon cards, like the higher end stuff, and a Scorpion XO 18950 helmet that I could throw in that had only been worn 2 times. So he was like, you know, send me pictures, send me the info on it, you know, and I did. Sent him, you know, his 2 base packs, a Charizard art long crimp and a Venusaur art long crimp. Neither one of them was weighed. I didn't weigh either one of them. They were both sealed, legit packs. A couple, holographic cards. They were first edition holographic cards. Turn around up here. I don't want to get back in here and it start raining on me. So I sent him all the information, some pictures, and he was like, yeah, man, we're gonna set up a time to meet up and look over everything. And he said, I think that I'll do it. And I told him, I was like, all right, well, I'm down. And he asked me, he was like, how do you want to do it? Because I don't have a trailer. And I was like, well, I have a truck and a trailer, but my trailer doesn't have a ramp, and it's actually, it's just like a lawnmower trailer. I mean, it's for my motorcycles, but it was originally for my dirt box, because I didn't care for the dirt box to, get hit with stuff going down the road, rocks and mud and stuff like that. Now the street box, obviously, I didn't want to have the street box, after sinking a bunch of money fixing them up, put them on an open trailer, go down the interstate and get them all dinged up and stuff. So I ended up renting a U-Haul and drove down there, and it was night time by the time I got there, plus he had to work, so by the time he got in from work, it was dark. When we done the trade, neither one of us test drove the box. We took each other's word on it. He's a great guy, he really is. He was completely honest with everything, as was I. We still talk. He'll call me up if he has any questions about the bike. Like he just called me, I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday, because he actually was wanting to know what was going on with the chain. Like he said that it was loose, but I told him it was a brand new chain. He's the one that's done the break-in on it, so he's the one that's got it's just time for its adjustment is all it is, because it was a brand new chain. He put it on, or I put it on, and obviously 600RR is an extremely strong and fast bike, so it just torqued it out. Let's go down this road and see what we got over here. Oh, this is maybe a horrible decision on this curve. That's a very bad curve. But what is that? What is that? I've got to see.